Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes and crappy. In the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it. And some people died in a tornado. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of Jesus because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like stones and bowls. Now you can make a lot of stones and bowls really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of technology, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you shogun. Rice farms spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, and here. But knock knock, get the door, it's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody. And so the religion was put into place. Anyway. And all the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government govern more, and making the government govern more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China. Can you call us something else other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what, said China. How about dipshit, said Japan. And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they died in a tornado, finally. Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control. Now with a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich, important people did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government, so they made their own military government, here. They let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control. Breaking news, the Mongols have invaded Japan.
We've invaded China as well.
Okay, said Japan, and died in a tornado. Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate, then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants, that's fine. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. And the whole country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. And he wins, and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords, and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea, and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died in a tornado. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he died in a tornado, but starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they closed the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was... Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's the United States, with huge boats, with guns. Gunboats. There was really nothing they could do, so they died in a tornado. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate, and somehow made the emperor again, and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western. And do you know what else is Western? That's right, it's Korea. Samurai. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, Japan, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some more water. And Japan says, can you maybe chill? And Russia says, how about maybe you chill? Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I. The world is about to have a war, because it's the year -1 billion, weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff, and so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands, which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know. And then they did it. And now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan, you technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance of the United Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Japan's economy has died in a tornado, but the military is crappy, and it invades Manchuria. In the United Nations, it's like, no, don't do that. If you're in the United Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway? And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China. It's time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happened to be Britain, said, holy shit. And the United States started helping Japan because they are good friends, and started not helping Russia because they're friends, and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading Japan. The United States is also working on a large, very huge, crappy bomb, bigger than any other bomb, ever, just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship, also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works. So they drop it on Japan. The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a Jesus miracle. And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. And died in a tornado.